Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, the Mercedes GLE53 AMG. Sure, now what can I tell you about this car? If you have seen my shorts, I'm sure you were quite excited. It's a 3-liter turbo. It's got 320 kilowatts of power and 520 Newton meters of torque. I get many requests to get certain cars, and do you know, you actually control what cars get onto this channel. The bigger the channel gets, the better the cars will get. If you can just take a moment, please hit the subscribe button. You'll have no idea how much that will mean. The channel will grow and the cars will get better. It's just an absolute powerhouse. It's a large family SUV. It's got a lot of space. It's so premium. You know, it's got everything. The exterior is brilliant, the interior. So let me take you through a few things, right? Normally, when you see these cars from the outside, they all look very nice. Like all the top end, if you're looking at the Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Land Rover, just to mention a few names. If you look at them from the outside, they look very, very nice. You always wonder, what does it look like inside? How is it to actually drive a car? And is it worth the hype? If you do have the budget for a car like this, it definitely is worth it. And I'll tell you why. How this car drives, how does it feel to drive? Is it suitable for a family? Can this car suit all your needs? Because I mean, if you're paying this price for a car, you want it to suit all your needs, right? Maybe you're in the market to buy a car like this. Maybe you're watching for entertainment purposes. Maybe you just want to know what a car like this looks like on the inside. So I'm going to tell you. Now, it has a stunning look. You got LED lights in the front. You got a very stunningly looking grille. All around, it just looks classy. And this color, it's very, very nice. If you haven't noticed already, look at the seat belt here. Automatically, when you get inside, it just screams luxury and it just adds to the look. So I said, now you look from the outside, it looks very, very nice. It's eye-catching. It's not over the top, but it definitely has that classy Mercedes look about it. And then when you get inside the car, now firstly, let me take you into the driver's seat, because I'm sure that's what you're most interested to hear about. When you get into the driver's seat, you put your seatbelt on. Once you start the car, you can actually feel the seatbelt adjusts to your body. If you would like to adjust your seat, because that's obviously one of the first things you will do when you get into the car, if you look on the side here, there's a shape of a seat and you can actually adjust every single part. Like this headrest, there's a button to adjust the headrest. There's a button to adjust the lumbar region. There's, you know, normally when you get electrically adjustable seats, there's just that knob at the bottom that you just up, down, left, right. But here, it's actually specifically controlled, so you can actually customize it very well. You're sitting inside, you got a comfortable seating position. You can electronically adjust the steering wheel if you want. Once you put your foot on the pedal, then you'll feel, I mean, it's absolutely luxury. It's so silent. You know, for a moment, I was thinking, am I driving an electric car? Because the car's not making really any sound when it's driving. And that just shows that it's got so much of power, and because it doesn't make that much of a sound, you know the engine is not straining. So it's an absolutely refined engine. It handles all terrains with absolute ease. It just drives very smoothly. That's from the driver's seat perspective. Now, how would your passengers feel? I'm assuming that if you want to buy a car like this, you most probably have a family. I'll tell you one thing, it's 5 seats. There is an optional extra to get 7 seats, but we'll get into the optional extras a bit later. When you look at the car, it looks like a 7-seater because it's absolutely spacious. So when I got in the car, I was checking, okay, where's the other 2 seats, because this car is so big. And then afterwards I found out you can actually add this, the extra 2 7 seats if you want. You know, generally with 7 seats you want an MPV. If you would actually have to add the 7 seats, the extra 2 at the back, you probably would take out a lot of the boot. And this car actually has a 745-liter boot space. So if you do put the 2 seats up, I'm assuming you're going to probably have less than 300, right? Speaking about that, this car looks like a 7-seater, but it's a 5-seater. The back seats are absolutely spacious. I mean, you can put the driver's seat far back and the co-passenger, the co-driver, whatever you call the person sitting on the side of the driver, you can put that seats back, and the rear passengers, they would be sitting in absolute luxury. So that's not a problem at all. Spacious wise, you sorted. And in terms of off-road capability, the Review model I'm driving now has 22-inch wheels. So automatically, okay, ground clearance is awesome. So that is the case. And you can actually, at the click of a button, you press, and then you can actually raise the car and add to the ground clearance. So off-road capability is 100% sorted. You do have driving modes like sand and gravel, sport, individual. You can customize the driving modes. So it does have a mode, not maybe for every day of the week like the Land Rover Discovery, but it has maybe for the work week. It's got everything you need. It's got USB ports. Now the only thing, the downside of this car is, okay, one disadvantage maybe could be that it is expensive. The base price is about 2 million, which is already a lot. Now you would expect at a base price of 2 million rand, you would want a lot of features, but that's not the case in this car. Unfortunately, one of the downsides of this car is that you have to pay a lot of money for optional extras. Depending on what you want as an optional extra, you could be paying between 400 to 600,000. That's if you want a lot of them. I mean, you can just choose selected ones and pay 20 or 30,000 rand. But in this model that I'm driving today, I've got everything, all the optional extras. Now let me take you through. It's a lot to remember, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read off my list that I've made. It's not everything, but it's the core optional extras that you probably would want to take if you are taking this car, right? So let's go through them now. As a base feature, you do get cruise control, but if you want to add in adaptive cruise control, that'll be an optional extra. I don't have the prices, but it is available online. I'll see if I can link it down below in the description box as well. So it does come with USB ports also, but if you want multiple USB ports, then that's an optional extra. I just need to add that this Mercedes GLE53 AMG does not have normal, I think it's called USB-A ports. It doesn't have that. It's only got USB-C. The flash drive or USB that I normally use for my audio entertainment, I don't have the USB-C. I've got the older USB. So that actually added to the silence of the drive. So I never really have much entertainment while I was driving this car. The adaptive LED headlights, that's also an optional extra. It comes base with 20-inch wheels. If you want to add in the 22-inch wheels, that is another optional extra. The panoramic sunroof on top here, and then the opening part, it actually goes halfway, not right to the end, so I'll just leave that open for the duration of this video. The car does have keyless access, but that again is an optional extra. The blind spot warning on the sides that shows you on the side mirrors, that's also an additional optional extra. And I just want to add, I'm not sure, maybe it's an optional extra or not, but with this blind spot warning, it notifies you when there's a car in your blind spot, and when you indicate, it makes a noise, but it doesn't keep you in your lane, so it's not going to stop you from turning into another car. And while I'm talking about safety features, it does have the front sensors and the back sensors, the rear sensors, but it doesn't have the collision avoidance. So if you are about to reverse into a car, it doesn't emergency brake. I'm not sure if that could be an optional extra, but on this car that I have, it doesn't have that. The heated seats, front and rear, are an optional extra. You can add in ventilated seats for the front, but that's not available for the rear. Leather seats also, that's another optional extra. As I said, it's a 5-seater, but if you want 7 seats, the extra 2 is another optional extra. You can obviously, if you want a certain paint color, that's another optional extra. Certain software upgrades and on the navigation, or maybe a few other items that I haven't mentioned. There's quite a long list, so I'm assuming you could rack up the car to close to 3 million. Is this car drivable, or is it good enough with the base features? Yes, I'm sure it will be, although I'm not driving the base at the moment. You wouldn't have leather seats, but I'm assuming it's going to be very comfortable, because I know I had the Kia Sportage, that wasn't leather seats. It was still comfortable, so I'm assuming, being Mercedes, I would expect that the seats would be comfortable. 20-inch versus 22, it all depends on if you go for road trips a lot, are you on gravel often? So do you want that extra ground clearance given by a 22-inch tire as opposed to 20-inch? That's a personal decision you'll have to make. Heated seats and ventilated, I mean, that's not really necessary. You can do without that. Lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, those are all optional extras. But as I said in previous videos, a lot of drivers actually switch those off, so you don't actually need them. I'm not sure if blind spot monitoring and lane keep assist and active steering assist come as one package, but if you can select just one, I would maybe say the blind spot monitoring. Another thing I have to mention with this car, it does have park assist, so it does park for you automatically. One annoying thing is the sounds that it makes. It beeps for almost everything. So when I'm reversing out of the driveway, if it picks up the grass or something that's maybe a little bit high, it just starts beeping like crazy. Then I'll be looking around, what's happening, is there a car coming? But there's no cars, nothing near me. It just beeps like crazy. I'm assuming there should be a way to customize that on the infotainment system, maybe decrease the sound or make it less responsive. I think that would be good. But other than that, besides the disadvantage of all the optional extras, those beeping noises, everything else is perfect. Oh, it's got an 85-liter fuel tank, so it can take you quite far on fuel range. In terms of fuel consumption, I can't actually remember what the combined fuel consumption is for this car. But what I did notice is if you are on the highest rev, on the highest gear, you are cruising at about 1,500 revs, and that is very, very good for fuel consumption. So all in all, it's a very, very nice family SUV. You got to just make the decision whether you're happy with the base or do you need to get optional extras, and then you weigh the pros and cons of this car. You know, overall, it's a very, very good, very solid product by Mercedes. It has class everywhere. When you look at the car, it's classy. When you sit in, it's classy. When you drive, it's classy. And I'm using the word classy a bit extra, but the car is classy. So what do you guys think of this Mercedes? Any other cars you would compare this to? So guys, that is the end of this video. I hope you found it informative and fun to watch. And if you watch it for entertainment purposes, hope you enjoyed it. If you watched it to find out whether you should buy this car, I hope I provided some valuable information. What did you enjoy the most of this video? Please comment below. If you missed what I said at the start, and if you haven't subscribed as yet, please, you control what cars come onto this channel. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button. It'll be absolutely luxurious, just like the Mercedes Benz.